Don't be so quick to believe everything you hear about Disney World. Today we're debunking the myths, the legends, and flat-out lies surrounding the most magical place on Earth, which honestly are more detrimental to your trip than you might think. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. With so many ways to get information about Disney World, whether it be through documentaries, social media, word of mouth, you name it, sometimes the lines between what's true about the parks versus what isn't true can start to get blurry. So today we're taking you through the most common Disney World rumors to make sure you've got the facts straight. Word of warning about point number 10, there may be more truth to that rumor than we originally were led to believe, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, number 1, there is no alcohol in Magic Kingdom. To be fair, Magic Kingdom being a dry park wasn't always a rumor. And isn't that how all this stuff works? You know, there's a little bit of truth in every lie. Okay, it used to be true. When Walt Disney opened Disneyland Park back in 1955, it was famously known as an alcohol-free park. Walt stated that alcohol would bring in a rowdy element to Disneyland. That's a direct quote. Which would bring in a caliber of people that Disney didn't want to have. In short, Walt just really felt the park didn't need the booze in order for grown-ups to still have a good time. And that same attitude carried over to Magic Kingdom when it opened in 1971. But when Epcot opened in 1982, the dry park rules went out the window since a lot of pavilions and their respective countries used wines, beers, and different cocktails to complement their meals. And Disney wanted to make sure they were being as authentic as possible when it came to their different cultural food offerings. When Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disney's Animal Kingdom opened up, they also featured alcoholic beverages at select locations, but Magic Kingdom continued to stay dry as a bone. However, in 2012, things changed when Be Our Guest restaurant opened in Magic Kingdom's new Fantasyland and started to offer limited selections of beer and wine along with its meals. Exclusively French and Belgian, but still. Since then, alcohol has been added to the remaining table service restaurants in Magic Kingdom, but you still won't be able to grab a beer or sangria to go at any of the quick service locations or kiosks. You gotta finish your alcohol in the table service restaurant. You can't walk around Magic Kingdom with it like you can at the other parks. Next lie that we try to remind you of at least once a year on the channel, you have to obey the marketing language. Now, this is a rumor that's 100% Disney's fault, and it all has to do with their tricky phrasing and marketing language. So different savings promotions for vacation packages will often claim that the certain deal you're looking at is applicable for only a certain number of days, usually on the higher end of things like a 6-night stay. So it'll say like book 6 nights and 7 days and get this great deal, right? But in reality, that's just an example of the deal, and you can usually apply the very same discount at the same rate to a shorter vacation too, maybe even for a weekend getaway. So there's always a minimum number of days you can book and a maximum number of days you can book, but they're very rarely going to be the marketing language. The marketing language is going to be what they know they're going to be able to make people actually buy because of their tricky way they say it. Now, those minimum days and maximum days, Disney's not going to say that explicitly. They're going to bury it within their fine print. You'll probably have to click through that little read more like 15 times to get to where it gives you the minimum day and the maximum day. Usually what we do is we go try to book a 1-night and a 2-night with that deal to see what the minimum is. So before you add on more days than you were originally planning to your vacation just to qualify for savings based on Disney's marketing language, make sure you read about the details of the promotion first. And again, when we post these discounts on our blog and we put them in our newsletter, we're going to tell you what the minimum and maximum are going to be for that particular deal, so you're not adding more days on that you don't need to. And don't forget, if you're using a reliable travel agent like Small World Vacations, who we partner with and think are very cool, they can help you find those sneaky loopholes for hotel and ticket savings too, and they're going to do it for free. If you want to reach out to them for a quote, I'll link their info down in the description. Now, I'm sure you've heard this rumor. The castle is going to be demolished. Can you imagine a Magic Kingdom where no Cinderella Castle was standing tall and proud in the heart of the park? Well, for some, that could have been a very real possibility for a number of occasions. The most recent rumor was that the castle would be voted off the island right after the 50th anniversary celebration wrapped up on March 31st of this year. But the rumor was started by a parody site, and the information just snowballed from there. Fortunately, Cindy's Place is still up and looking pretty as ever post 50th anniversary festivities. And thank goodness for that, I already had to get get rid of my Fast Pasta Friday mug, I didn't want to do the same for my castle mug too. So other rumors about the castle have claimed that Cindy's place isn't necessarily being demolished, but it can be dismantled in case of a major hurricane. But this rumor is about as old as the castle itself, and simply not true either. While it would certainly be interesting to see the castle disassembled and put back together like a Lego tower, it's stuck and secure right where it is, turrets and all, and it was created to withstand hurricane force winds. Now, even though Cinderella Castle doesn't ever move, that doesn't mean we don't see it switch up its facade from time to time. We've seen massive decorations added and removed, like when the castle was TP'd for the opening of the defunct attraction Stitch's Great Escape, and when it was spruced up like a ginormous blobby pink birthday cake for its 25th anniversary. We've also seen it get shiny new paint jobs, like how it changed from white to pastel pink, the color it still holds today, but even with all the castle's costume changes, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. This next rumor, you may actually see it represented in Disney World, which is super weird. So the rumor is that Walt originally said the quote, "If you can dream it, you can do it." I'm all about giving Walt Disney credit where credit is due, but this quote has floated around the Disney sphere for a while now, and Walt never said it. If you can dream it, you can do it. If you want to sing it, we can sing it too. If you can dream it, then you can do it, right? Remember? Okay. Is a popular phrase you'll probably hear or read on one of the construction walls at least once during your next trip, especially in Epcot. Even though Walt is given credit for this quote, it was actually first coined in the 1980s by Imagineer Tom Fitzgerald for the now sadly defunct Epcot attraction Horizons. Even if Disney didn't say this iconic line, it does represent Disney's ongoing philosophy that if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. Now, who said that? So advanced dining reservations are serious business, y'all. You mark your calendar 60 days before your trip, you set your alarms at 5:30 a.m., and when that alarm goes off, you immediately hop out of bed and log on to the Disney World website or the My Disney Experience app, and you snag those coveted advanced dining reservations as soon as they go live. But if you happen to miss that 60-day window and then end up deciding at the last minute you really do want to enjoy a sit-down meal during one of your park days, are you really out of luck, or are same-day dining reservations impossible? Well, you might be out of luck if it comes to the most popular dining experiences, like Cinderella's Royal Table at Magic Kingdom, Sci-Fi Dine-In at Hollywood Studios. But I'll tell you what, last-minute reservations aren't as impossible as they have been in the past. Let me give you a real-time example for Magic Kingdom. It's about 10 a.m. my time on a Wednesday. If I tap on the My Disney Experience app, select the tip board option, and choose the Dining tab, I'll not only be able to see when the next available arrival window is for mobile ordering at quick service locations, but I'll also be able to find any last-minute reservation available for table service spots. Plus, I can also see if any of those restaurants are offering walk-up wait lists. The big difference between last-minute dining reservations and the walk-up wait lists is that the reservations will give me an exact time that I'll be able to dine at the restaurant, while walk-up wait list will give me more of a time range, and the restaurant will text me when a table becomes available. Currently, in my example here, I'm finding that the popular Be Our Guest restaurant is literally sitting at a 10-minute walk-up wait. Crystal Palace still has several evening reservations available, including a few mid-afternoon openings, and Skipper Canteen has pretty much open availability for whenever you want to swing by and grab a bite. Now, keep in mind that I am looking at this list of options in the middle of the week when crowds may not be as high. During busier times of the year, like holidays and long weekends, last-minute availability may not be as prevalent. So having your ADRs all locked up beforehand is still a good idea. It's also a good idea to make advanced dining reservations regardless. If there's a restaurant you know for sure you want to experience during your trip, go ahead and make the reservation. If you do choose to grab some last-minute reservations the day of your visit, look for walk-up waitlists and reservation times at the beginning of the day rather than later on. Because if you wait to find a table right when the clock strikes lunch rush, you might be out of luck. Now, a couple of other examples from a recent trip I just took. While I had searched for a Space 220 reservation in Epcot for weeks and weeks leading up to my trip, couldn't find a single one. Yet, on the day of when I was looking, how about that? A Space 220 lounge reservation was wide open. So that's another thing to think about. I do feel like I'm seeing more and more popular restaurants available on the day of at this point. That's anecdotal. I don't have data around it, but that's what I'm seeing. So keep checking even up till the last minute. So, have you ever thought Walt Disney is in the Haunted Mansion? Well, a lot of people do. If you have no clue what I'm talking about because you've never seen Mr. Walter Elias in the ride before, then you need to check out the singing busts in the graveyard scene. For years, many guests have claimed that one of these busts is modeled after Walt Disney himself. Although I can definitely see where those folks are coming from because that bust definitely has a Walt Disney likeness to it, the bust was actually made to look like the singer Thurl Ravenscroft. Don't know who that is? Well, Ravenscroft is the well-known voice actor behind the Frosted Flakes mascot Tony the Tiger. He's also the singer behind famous hits like the ever-popular holiday classic You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. But the reason why he's immortalized inside Haunted Mansion is because Ravenscroft is one of the vocalists in the Mellow Man group, aka the quartet singing Grim Grinning Ghosts in that final ride scene, so it only makes sense that his likeness would be found on the ride. But I'm sure Walt wouldn't have minded being a specter in this ghoulish mansion too. Now, you know who is going to be added to Magic Kingdom's Haunted Mansion soon? The Hatbox Ghost. The Hatbox Ghost has been a fan favorite character over in Disneyland since 2015, and during the 2022 D23 convention, we learned he'd soon be finally materializing in Magic Kingdom's version of the ride too. We don't know exactly when the Hatbox Ghost will be making his big debut, but we do know it'll be sometime this year. So keep checking back with us. We'll be sure to let you know when we hear more. Oof, now this is a rumor that needs to be put to rest ASAP because it can make your meet and greet with the Toy Story crew real weird. Several years ago, a photo of a guest lying on the ground with a couple other Toy Story characters went viral on the internet. Now, whether this actually happened or not is still questionable, but there had been mumblings about the characters once being able to drop to the ground whenever they heard someone yell, "Andy's coming." In theory, this is adorable. In practice, it's just dangerous for the guests and the characters. I mean, would you want to drop to the ground 50 plus times a day every time someone said that to you? Even now, guests will still go up to these characters multiple times a day and say Andy's coming, only to be met with a character attendant that has to tell them, no, he's not. Another rumor debunked, cast members are totally allowed to tell you no when they need to, and they'll definitely need to during this type of scenario to keep with Disney's policy. So just don't say that to Buzz, Woody, Jessie, or Bo Peep because nothing will happen and you'll feel weird for even trying. That being said, if you're still wanting to play the Andy's Coming game in Toy Story Land, there is one legit way to make it happen, but you'll have to make an advanced dining reservation for Roundup Rodeo Barbecue first. During your meal, you'll eventually hear Sarge shout over the restaurant speakers those two frantic words, "Andy's coming." Instead of dropping to the ground, everyone will be required to freeze in place, even the servers. Now, this is a long time myth, and maybe in the past it was a little bit closer to true, but not anymore. But it's getting less and less true. I'm not here to say all Disney World food is good for you, because if that were the case, I'd be eating Wookiee cookies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But it might put your mind at ease to know you're not just going to have to eat junk food during your entire trip if you're relying on the Disney restaurants to keep you fed. Turns out there are plenty of fresh and not frozen or processed options for you to choose from around the parks. Again, this has gotten much, much better in the last 10 and 15 years that I've been doing this blog. Now you can find organic snacks, salads made with ingredients straight from Disney's own greenhouses, which to be fair was always the case, and seasonal, locally sourced entrees too. For example, the restaurants that you're going to find in Epcot's Land Pavilion, like Sunshine Seasons and Garden Grill, have many dishes that use fresh produce straight from the Living with the Land greenhouses right next door. By the way, I also saw a salad over on Nomad Lounge's menu in Disney's Animal Kingdom that was called the Land Salad that used fresh veggies right from the land as well. Yak and Yeti at Disney's Animal Kingdom serves several unique and delicious fresh salads and lighter entrees like the roasted vegetable bowl and miso salmon. Personally, I love hitting up that stand in Animal Kingdom right by Kilimanjaro Safaris for that corn on the cob, which is seriously underrated. And let's not forget about the famous Cobb salad you can order at Hollywood Brown Derby inside Hollywood Studios. It's made right there at your table. Maybe it's not the healthiest salad you could order, but hey, at least it's good, fresh ingredients, right? Want to learn about even more fresh food options around Disney World? Make sure to head to the dfbstore.com website after this and check out the 2023 DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining for an overview of every single Disney World restaurant, along with their standout sides and entrees. Just don't forget to type in code YouTube to save some money on your purchase before checking out. Now, this next one is a half myth, but it's important that you know what's true and what's not. If you are looking for a quick bite to eat, but you're not necessarily hungry enough to order an entire meal for full price, when you're at a park's quick service restaurants, you can choose whether you want to order off the grown-up menu or the kids one, and no one's even going to judge you for it. I mean, think about it. If you mobile order your food, the My Disney Experience app isn't going to ask you for your age. It's just going to ask you what you want. So if you're at Satuli Canteen in Animal Kingdom, you can order the kids' version of the cheeseburger pods for around $9 instead of the adult version for $14. Plus, you'll also get chips, a Cuties Mandarin Orange, and a small drink of your choice with your kids' meal too. Now, kids' menu rules are more strict when it comes to table, character, and signature restaurants. If you try to order from the kids' menu there, they're going to bring you an adult-sized portion of kid food, and you're going to pay an adult-sized price for it. But when you just need a bite to go and you're at a fast food restaurant or a quick service restaurant, you can go ahead and order off the kids' menu even if you're a grown-up. And believe it or not, sometimes that's plenty of food. Okay, this next one is pretty far-fetched, and yet I can't even tell you how many times I've heard it talked about before. There are some guests out there who believe Disney World can raise and lower a giant dome around the property that can shield the bad weather if they want to. Listen, Disney can be magical, but that does not happen. All the weather you experience during your vacation is genuine, natural coverage, not Truman Show stuff, which is why you need to make sure you check out that extended forecast ahead of time. Download the AccuWeather app to keep up with minute-by-minute weather updates in the parks or whatever app you like that you trust. And pack those ponchos and rain jackets and stroller covers and umbrellas and whatever water-resistant clothes you like to use just in case. I was in Disney World last week and it told me that it was absolutely not going to rain until 4 p.m. And as I walked outside, it was pouring at 11 a.m. So what can you do? Now, I told you earlier that this particular point may have more truth behind it than we originally thought. So what could possibly be true about this? Well, over in Animal Kingdom, inside the Maharaja Jungle Trek, Disney can make it rain for the bats inside the Bat Sanctuary. Because of the intense Florida heat that the bats aren't always too keen to experience, same, Disney has actually installed a rain simulator inside their enclosure to help keep them cool. Oh dear, this next one, I don't even know what to do. One of the most famous examples of Disney's ginormous eats is their oversized turkey legs, which are so big that they've inspired their own rumors. Some people believe that these massive hunks of meat are actually emu legs instead of turkey. I know, this myth has been around for years. This is another one of those long-running rumors, but the rumor had more fuel added to its flame back when Zachary Levi, aka Flynn Rider, gave an interview years back on the Conan O'Brien show, where he claimed a friend of his who has worked at Disneyland told him these chunks of meat were actually emu legs, which started up the rumor again like wildfire. Sorry, Flynn, but these really are turkey legs that Disney sells. The reason why they're so big is because they're made from tom turkeys or male turkeys. Your normal turkey that you pop in the oven for Thanksgiving is usually a female, and the lady turkeys tend to be much smaller than their male counterparts. Craving a turkey leg now? There are a few different locations you can pick one up on Disney property, including Liberty Square Market, Prince Eric's Village Market, and Sleepy Hollow Refreshments in Magic Kingdom. You can also grab them at the Fife and Drum Tavern in Epcot and the Smokehouse at House of Blues in Disney Springs. Okay, buckle up everyone, because this one is weird and shockingly popular as well. There are many people out there who believe that when Walt Disney passed away, his body and or head were cryogenically frozen and are now hidden in the tunnels underneath Cinderella Castle. I cannot tell whether I should laugh or cry. This is not true, not in the slightest. Sorry to dismantle your conspiracy theories, but think about it. If Walt was cryogenically frozen, he wasn't, why oh why would he be stored under Disney World, which wasn't even close to finished by the time of his death? Wouldn't he want to be chilling under Disneyland instead? No pun intended. Granted, there are rumors he was building a cryo tank under Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean too, but yeah, apparently people were just really gung-ho to learn about Disney being frozen underground somewhere. It seems most of these rumors were actually started by tabloids written around the time of Walt's very real death. This was later fueled by books written by a few sources claiming to be credible on the matter that when examined closer had no basis for their claims. So where did the remains of Walt Disney actually end up? Well, when Walt passed, his remains were cremated, not frozen. It's the opposite. They now reside in Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. To further prove that these are the remains of Walt, his death certificate was signed by the licensed mortuary attendant verifying his cremation. His daughter Diane even went so far as to state, "There is absolutely no truth that my father, Walt Disney, wished to be frozen. I doubt that my father had ever heard of cryonics." So even though there are tunnels underneath Magic Kingdom, you won't find frozen Walt Disney hiding out there. What you will find is a series of interconnecting service tunnels only accessible to cast members, known as the utilidors. The only way you'll be able to see the utilidors is by working there, or taking a Keys to the Kingdom backstage tour. This 5-hour guided walking experience lets you see the backstage of Magic Kingdom and teaches you about how Disney brings this well-loved park to life every day. The tour is $114, which does include lunch and a little commemorative gift, but does not include a park ticket or a park pass reservation or seeing Walt's frozen head, which we are very certain of that. You can book Keys to the Kingdom online or on the My Disney Experience app for all guests who are 16 years or older. Now, we know that going on vacation while dealing with food allergies can be hard, to put it lightly. But Disney World has made a lot of strides over the past several years to provide more options for guests with special dietary needs. So the myth that dining with allergies is too hard in Disney World is really starting to pass. Even special events like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party have allergy-friendly snacks for guests who still want to go trick-or-treating, but may not be able to eat the standard nut-filled candy bars that are being passed out during the festivities. But how do you handle the Disney restaurants when you're also juggling an allergy? When you make dining reservations for a table service restaurant, you can make a note of any special diets on said reservations so that the restaurant knows how to prepare for your arrival ahead of time. You can also contact the Special Diets Department at 407-824-5967 or by emailing special.diets@disneyworld.com. Even if you do both of those things, though, it's still a good idea to remind your server of any specific allergy concerns you listed on the reservation and talk to one of the chefs or restaurant managers to make sure everyone's on the same page. For quick service restaurants, you can also request to speak with the chef or manager and to see the restaurant's ingredients binder that makes up the specifics for each menu item. Now, this can be hit or miss. I will absolutely agree that some cast members might be new or filling in for the day and aren't sure where their binder is, but if you keep asking and get to a manager, they should be able to help you get your questions answered. Now, both table and quick service restaurants have their allergy-friendly options listed on their menus, which you can check out online or on the My Disney Experience app. That's been a huge benefit and help. As far as mobile ordering goes, you can narrow down your allergy-friendly search options by tapping on the allergy-friendly icon before you start to order. It'll look like a triangle with a fork in the middle. For more Disney dining info regarding special diets and allergy-friendly options, we got all that featured too in our DFB dining guide on dfbstore.com. So make sure to check it out when you get the chance. Okay, now we've put some of the biggest widely spread Disney World rumors to rest, so hopefully you can sleep easy tonight. We'll continue to give the latest Disney World truths here on our DFB channel, as well as on our website and social and digital guidebooks too. That way you never have to worry about being misinformed. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. Sorry, I have a little cold, so the second half of this video might have been a little different from the first. I apologize. But as always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.